This is what your Arch Linux boot screen has the potential to look like. If I type in sudo reboot, you will be able to see it in just a second. And there you go. It seems to be pretty quick because it's running on an NVMe SSD and because there are not many startup programs, okay? But you can change the delay if you want to. Regardless, that is the kind of boot screen that you can get. And it's pretty simple. The program we're going to be using for this is called Plymouth. So it's a project from Fedora listed amongst Free Desktop's official resources, which allows you to give an eye candy splash screen to your computer. Okay? Now, it's very simple to actually install, and I'm going to be showing you how you can install this inside of the VM itself. So let's do that. Right over here, the first thing you want to do is, of course, install Plymouth itself. I'm using Yay, which is an AUR helper. If you haven't already installed Yay, okay, you can just do this with sudo pacman-s Plymouth. And pro tip, if you can pass in the -- needed flag whenever you want to, then that means it only installs a package if it's not already installed. In my case, it's going to be installed, so it's going to skip it. Okay, after that's done, we need to edit something known as the mkinitcpio.conf file. Okay, now the way you do that is by using your favorite text editor. I'll be using NeoVim. So sudo nvim etc mkinitcpio.conf. You want to go in here and you want to look for hooks. Okay, so in this hooks section, you want to scroll all the way down and make sure that you find this hooks part over here. Now here you should see base, udev, so on and so forth. Now because I've already configured it here, I have put in Plymouth right after udev. Now make sure if you want it to work, okay, and you don't want to sit around testing things, make sure to put Plymouth right after udev. And that is going to allow you to also change your console font if you so desire. As you can see, console font is what allows you to change the console font. There you go. So Plymouth, make sure to put that after udev inside of the hooks, okay, inside of the hooks line. And once you're done, make sure to rebuild the initramfs by typing in mkinitcpio-p linux zen or Linux or whichever kernel. However, if you want to rebuild all kernels, you can just type in mkinitcpio-P, which is going to rebuild the initramfs for every single kernel that you have installed. However, if you just want to do it for one kernel, make sure to put in Linux zen. Now, you might be wondering, what is initramfs? Well, initramfs is actually a not virtual file system, but it's a really small file system that's going to reside in your RAM, which allows your computer to start up certain applications like drivers, for example. It allows you to detect hardware. It allows the computer to detect whatever hardware that you have connected to it so that the kernel can talk to it, so on and so forth. So it performs functions like that, which is what it does, right? That's what the initramfs file actually does. Now we're going to have to regenerate that image by typing in this command. Hit enter and it's going to do that for you. Okay, once it's done, you're going to have to edit one of two files, okay? Either one of two files. Now, depending on the bootloader that you have installed, you can either have installed grub or systemd boot. Now, a really simple way to check this out is to just ls bootloader entries. Now, inside bootloader entries, you're going to find this. However, there is a chance you can find this inside of this folder if you have installed it using grub too. So you can just open this file instead to check whether you really are using systemd boot. So just go into bootloader loader.conf, and inside here you should see something like this. Now, if the loader.conf file doesn't really exist, you can check yet another file over here. Just keep checking around, and most likely you're going to find it inside of entries. Basically, what you want to do here is get to know the kind of bootloader you're using, okay? If you know for sure that it's grub, then you're going to have to edit etc default grub. If you know for sure that it is systemd boot, then you're going to have to edit bootloader entries and whichever entry that you saw earlier. Now, let me show you, and as an example, what it would look like if I were using grub. Right now, I'm not using grub, and so the file is completely empty, but the underlying principle is the same. This is the file you will be editing if you're using grub. If you're using systemd boot, like for example, you just installed Arch Linux using Arch install, which most likely it's going to be using systemd boot by default. So let's go configure that. In bootloader entries, pick this entry. Okay, most likely it's going to be named something like this. Just hit enter. And here you should find an options line. If you're on grub, you should find the line to be saying something like grub command line Linux default. And in there, you might find one or two parameters, something like log level equals 3 and quiet, or maybe something else if you've configured it that way. Otherwise, this is what you see here if you're on systemd boot. Okay, now all of this is good, it's great. Now for video, this is something I've added myself so that you can see everything clearly. Quiet, you want to put this so that you can disable or basically reduce the output that's going to be displayed on the TTY during boot as much as possible. Unless something is really critical, it's not going to be displayed to you, which is great. Okay, so quiet, then after quiet, we have splash. Now, unless you actually enable splash inside of the command line options, right here, it's not going to display the splash screen at all, so make sure to put that here. And then after that, you want to put in rd.udev log priority 3. Okay, then after that, vt.global_cursor_default equals 0. So this thing is going to make sure to hide your cursor so that you don't see any of it during the boot screen itself. Now, once this is done, you again want to rebuild the initramfs image. So make sure to do that with sudo mkinitcpio -P. Because I have only one kernel, I can do that and not have to specify the kernel name. Okay, it's done. Now, as for the theme that you saw earlier, you're going to have to install that with yay-s plymouth theme /git. Okay, now installing this theme also means that you're going to have to install a bunch of other ones just by the nature of this AUR package. So if I ls.cache yay, you should find Plymouth themes, this rd1090x pack4 git. So if I ls that there as well, you'll find that there are way more themes that you can see here, but that have yet to be installed. Now, to actually get those themes, make sure to go over to this guy's GitHub repo, which is called Plymouth Themes. It's a huge collection of Plymouth themes ported from Android boot animations. Now, if you scroll down all the way here, you should be able to find previews for the different themes. Okay, so you have Colorful Loop, Connect. Take a look at the previews, decide which one you want, and then make sure to install it by following this syntax. So he's given the syntax here, right? He's uploaded a Plymouth theme for every single theme that you see below. So you just have to install it with yay-s Plymouth theme and the name -git. That's what I've done for pack4 splash over here. Splash. So that would be Plymouth theme /git, which is exactly what we installed with this. So that would be, right here. Plymouth theme /git. Okay, once you've installed that, you can just ls user share Plymouth themes. And once you do that, you should be able to find splash right there. And all you have to do is just type in sudo, okay, Plymouth set default theme, and you can use -R to reload the initramfs as well, rebuild the image, and pass in splash over here. Once you do that, it's going to rebuild the image. Okay, rebuilding image done. Now all you have to do is just type in sudo reboot, and it's going to reboot. On rebooting, we can see that beautiful animation. And that is, put simply, how you can customize your boot screen on Arch Linux. Of course, the process is the same, no matter what distro you're using, but for Arch Linux and for Hyprland, this is what I have personally done. If you want to know how to make a custom theme switcher like this one for Hyprland, which allows you not to just change a couple of the aspects of your setup, like your waybar colors or your notification daemons colors, but literally every single app's colors from your terminal to your text editor as well. So if you want to learn how to make something like this for yourself, go ahead, click the first link in the description and check out HyperAccelerator. It's a program where I show you exactly how you can make a setup like this for yourself so that you don't have to copy somebody else's dot files, right? Change a couple of things here and there. Hope to God that it doesn't break ever again. You don't have to do any of that. Instead, you can feel proud of your own creation when you can make something like this yourself. So if you want that, go ahead, click the first link in the description and check out HyperAccelerator. If you liked the video, hit like. If you loved it and want to see more like this in your feed, hit subscribe, and I will see you next time. Stay rising. Mwah.